Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us as we start today's show. I do have those 5 memberships to gift out. Welcome in again, everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon. Be on the round today. Hopefully come up and say hi. Thank you, Captain Carolina. Hopefully we will see you later on this afternoon. Hopefully we'll see you working on the ramp at Copa a little while later. You guys are hearing a Delta CRJ starting up just below us. Speaking of Delta CRJs, looks like we've got one headed in now. Coming in from JFK, Endeavor 5072. Arriving in about 5 minutes. It did make that left turn onto final down there. And as you guys can see, we are on the 05s today. And we're back on the parking garage. We're not down there by the observation tower today. And as you guys can see, it is another beautiful day here in Raleigh. So that one we watched depart a moment ago, that is American Airlines 2688. That's headed back to Charlotte, North Carolina. About a 28-minute flight for that one. That one was an A321-200. I gotta make a quick check here before we get started. 9:21, so we are 79 away from reaching 5,000. No worries. I did see a lot of people posting pictures of the A340 up on Facebook yesterday. Not yesterday, day before. Earlier this week. I know we had the A340. I don't know if we had it yesterday or not. I didn't pay too much attention to the airport yesterday. I was busy working, unfortunately. My one and only Saturday. And then Friday I had school. I have to go back to school on Wednesday as well for my research for the state, so I can continue to do North Carolina state inspections on possibly your vehicle if you bring it to Lexus. We got to go through research every 2 years, unfortunately. So there's that Delta CRJ we heard starting up just below us. Vincent, what's up? Again, hopefully you guys have all had a wonderful week. I know it's not been a terrible week for me. Again, I spent all day Friday in school, which was nice. I actually got out of school fairly early, went home and got a lot of stuff done around the house, thank goodness. So I didn't have to come home yesterday after working and take care of that. So here's our Delta from New York. I am struggling to see the screen, so if I miss any messages, I do apologize. I still haven't figured out what we want to do for the upcoming week. As you guys know, Sunday we may not be here. We're planning on going to the air show next Sunday. Yeah, got a high UV index today. It's a beautiful day. Probably should have wore the sunscreen, but it'll be alright. Work on my tan while we're hanging out up here. I debated on whether or not I wanted to be on the roof or if I wanted to go down the floor. Thought better of it, decided I would come up top. It's not a hot day by any stretch of the imagination. It is very, very comfortable. As a matter of fact, it is an absolute perfect day here, in my opinion. It feels like low humidity. So if you are outside in the area, wear sunscreen. Don't be like me, not wear it, but I am wearing outdoor t-shirts that helps block some of that sunlight. Yeah, hopefully we don't have a direction change today. Hopefully the winds will stay where they're at. I mean, we're in a decent spot even if they do change directions. Either way, we won't be able to see the southwest side or Terminal 1 side of the airport, unfortunately. But all the action's going to come to us over here on this side. I did have a southwest over here before we started the show. Departed over here, so maybe we'll have some more southwest and some other things from Terminal 1 side. Where is that Delta going?
Departure, have a good day. Okay, look it up.
That's strange. Is that the one that just landed? No, I don't think it is. I think that's the one that was sitting back here that started up. That one's going to head up to the penalty box and wait for a departure. We should have that one that just landed back here in a minute. So we do have PSA coming in from Washington, D.C. That's going to be our next arrival. It's going to be a CRJ 701. That's going to be PSA 5589. 39 minutes of flight time. So right around 42 minutes of flight time from Washington, D.C. Not bad considering that's a 4-hour drive. Yeah, gonna go see the Thunderbirds next weekend. The wife's already made the arrangements for us to go watch that show. So again, I don't know what we're gonna do for next week. Definitely don't think we're gonna do a Saturday show, because if you guys go back and look at the numbers from last week's Saturday show, not very good. So we try to keep on the same schedule so you guys know exactly when we're going to be on. So PSA is going to be followed by Delta. It's going to be SkyWest 140. It's going to be a Delta connection. That's going to be coming in from Austin in 5 minutes. Maryland. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Again, welcome in everybody. Happy Sunday. It's a gorgeous day here. And you guys are here in that Delta CRJ. I'm a little far back to catch anybody in the alleyway until they make their way to the gate. But once this CRJ gets close enough, we can watch them marshal the CRJ. I assume he's going to stay hiding in the going to stay hiding there in the shade. Sorry about that. As Delta unloads their baggage, we've got America in that PSA over there. We do have Delta connection operated by SkyWest Airlines coming in from Austin. Here arriving in just 2 minutes. I was thinking maybe that one was going to come back here, but we already have one Delta E175 back here. So if you guys are just joining us too, we have the American 777 today in about 30 minutes or so. We also have the Air France 777 a little later on in the day, as well as Copa and Aeromexico coming in today. Should have a little Air Canada action as well. Oh, well, this is a weird sight. What are you doing over here? This United E175 over on the wrong side. Hiding out at gate C8. No, White, we haven't. I haven't caught Bermuda yet. I don't know that we will. I'd have to take time off work and be here, super early. It comes in at 10, so I'd have to take a day off work to do all of that. And it is just an E190, I believe. I would like to see it at some point, but having to take off work to see it's, I don't know. It's not like a Lufthansa where you take time off, or KLM, or it's something like that, you know what I mean? I almost did take off that day for their inaugural arrival, but I know we got WestJet coming eventually at some point later this spring. Don't know here that I'll be here for the inaugural, but hopefully, as long as it's an afternoon flight, we'll catch it. Bermuda's only 3 days a week too, I believe. 2 or 3 days a week. And it is early. Nice touchdown for the Delta E-175. I swore I detangled these two. There we go. Got some cables tangled up here. Thank you, Molly, for that update. 175 departures, 161 arrivals today. Again, if I miss anybody's messages, I do apologize. It is hard to see the screen, so I have to take a minute to look back through the messages there. I need a shield or a cover for the computer. Let's go to that United. It's weird to see United over here on this side. So let's check flight radar. Who's our next arrival? Speaking of United, looks like we got a United here in just a little bit. Got something coming in that's not on flight radar. Speaking of the 777, American 777's almost downwind from us. American 173 Heavy, that one coming in from London Heathrow. 7 hours and 53 minutes so far. It's going to be a little closer to 8 hours by the time they touch down here. Let's see what we got here on final. Again, this one's not on flight radar. Sorry, I had to look over my shoulder. That sounded weird, that departure. This looks like a wheels up. Nice looking livery on this one. Still got a Delta A321 over here in the overnight parking slot. The Delta tends to park their planes over here toward the end of the 05s. Looks like we got a steady stream of exec jets again. We won't be seeing too many of those unless they make their way to this side. Looks like our next arrival is going to be United Airlines. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a race between United and the 777. This So it says United 2653 coming in from Chicago. This is 737-900 arriving in 5 minutes. Our 777 also arriving in 5 minutes. Both are downwind currently. What's that? Alright, so United's left the alleyway. Our prop is headed down to the end of 2-3. Oh, that's headed over to the NC University hangar there. So maybe that's their new plane. Barbara, good afternoon. So it looks like we got another one on final here. It's a good ways out, so let's check out this for a second while I figure out who this is. It's going to be FlexJet 351 coming in from Morganton. However you want to pronounce that. That's an Embraer Phenom 300. It'll be our next arrival, it looks like. Still a good ways out at the moment. A couple of Southwest coming in as well. And the drag race for this side is on between the American and United. It looks like United's going to get there first. Here's our Phenom 300. Had to check on some stuff. Trying to make sure that we don't lose any service today. Looks like everything is flowing perfectly with the service. I want to apologize for Wednesday's show not being that great due to all the service issues we experienced at the beginning of the show. So if you guys went back and rewatched Wednesday's show, the beginning was very difficult. So here we go. Here's our United getting a move on. This United was on the wrong side of the terminal here. Someone must have come in last night. So they put it over there. So there's our A321. So our next arrival is going to be that United coming in from Chicago O'Hare. That's going to be a 737-900. 1 hour and 26 minutes of flight time for that one. The 777's just now making those 2 right turns onto final here. But it is making those turns. And our little United there that just took off, that's Republic Airways 3616. They're headed to Washington Dulles. Southwest cleared for takeoff, 5 right. So here's United. This one coming in with an all white nose. So I'm using ATC Live, so I'm using the streaming website for ATC today. That's usually what I use. The radio makes things a lot more complicated unless I can find a Bluetooth radio, but I just put it on the tower. It's toward the bottom if you go to ATC Live. But it has a whole channel list, so you know exactly what channels you're listening to. At the moment, I got a couple other things running on the phone. But yeah, just go to ATC Live and you can look at all the frequencies there for RDU. Just type it in. You'll be able to see each and every frequency, including like maintenance and all that stuff. Which of course we don't listen to that, but there's about a 10-second delay in doing it that way, unfortunately. I need to start looking into radios to see if we can find one that has Bluetooth capabilities, so we can pipe it into the show that way. So there you go, American 173 Heavy hollering at them on the radio. That one's going to be our next arrival.
right, sir. There you go.
1035, everything on my right side.
451 to River Golf, runway 5 right, line up away.
Africa 5825 left.
Houston 5820 Raleigh Tower, 10408, runway 5 left, clear land.
5 left, clear land, Africa 5820.
Gonna make that hard left turn there. Hopefully we can get somewhat of a good shot of them turning into the gate. And we'll have them down here at this end a little later on today. Once they move the 777, we'll have it down here on the D gates, right pretty close to in front of us here. So we'll see how that goes a little later on in the day as well. Again, we do have Air France, and we're not going to see it turn the corner. Just a little bit of the wing tip there, not even an engine shot. But again, we have Air France a little later as well, and that 777-200. Some GE action later. Looks like we got another Delta connection. E175. Nice landing for that one. That Delta is Republic Airways 5820 coming in from LaGuardia, New York. 1 hour and 17 minutes of flight time for that E175. Again, we still have Copa and Aeromexico here in just a little while. I also have memberships to gift a little later on as well. I have to figure out when exactly we want to gift out those memberships. So does that mean, that doesn't look like this one's ready to go anywhere, so I don't know where that other one's going to go unless it's going to be on the other side of the terminal over there. So let's take a quick look here, see who we got coming in next, who's going to be our next arrival. Looks like we got Delta 2026 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. 737 at 900. 48 minutes of flight time for this one. That one arriving in just 3 minutes.
Over departure, contact, have a good one.
Charlo 2026 is visual 5 left, and we're booking out. 2026, runway 5 left, we land 5 left, 2026.
Sounds like ATC is working pretty well today. Sounds like the radio is nice and clear. Some days the frequency is just not very good. And it always seems like it's on the tower side too. Seems like you can hear all the aircraft pretty well, but the tower is kind of not that great. Robbie, good afternoon. Well, morning for you still. Hopefully all those that tuned in just to check out the 777 left their like. It happens quite often on the show. People will pop in to check out a certain plane and then they pop back out. Hopefully they smash the like button on their way in or out. Got an exec jet firing off behind us here. Bob Bob Smith, good afternoon, good evening. So let's look and see where Copa is. Copa's going to be our next big arrival. Our next international. Copa CMP 466, Copa Airlines coming in from Panama City. They're still about 35 minutes out or so.
Clear touch, go 5 right, 6 2026 cancel landing clearance, runway 5 left, continue track loading 6. Continuing Del 2026, 6404 right down, runway 5 left, flight avoid.
Air France and that 777 is still about 2 hours and 34 minutes away.
45 Delta Fox, trying to bend out, keep maintaining 5 Delta.
Aero Mexico is about an hour and 25 minutes away.
5 Delta Fox, traffic will be 12 o'clock, 7 miles southeast, south.
So that doesn't leave them too long to offload the American 777 there before Air France makes their way in. But again, our next arrival is going to be Delta 2026 coming from Atlanta. Sounds like we got a little CRJ on the move. CRJ is going to escape. This is the one that was up on the up at the penalty box earlier. Finally got their departure time.
Land 5 left, 2026.
Now we swing to our 737. Again, this one coming in from Atlanta. The home of Delta Airlines. We do have a 757 on the ground here that came in from Atlanta earlier, just before we started the show. So that'll be something we have to look forward to a little later on. Be that departure.
Maintain 5,000, traffic 1 o'clock, 7 miles, maneuvering 5,000 down at this station. I know it's you, I know it's 6404. And 6404, contact departure, we'll see you. Departure, 6404. Right, Chris, there you go. Bravo 5, contact ground point 9.
Right on Bravo 5, ground point 9, Delta 20.
Number 617, you said you want a 60 heading now? Skyline 30617, you want to do 60 heading?
Yeah, that's confirmed. 060 at the 5 if you're able.
Number 617, that's a 3 does request, just report on stage.
We'll go and we'll be level 1500 first.
Roger that. Number 3 Foxtrot Golf, come ready, 110, only 5 right, Chris, there you go.
Dang, PSA's already ready to go. Getting ready to shut the door there on that CRJ 700.
110, Chris, that's
So it looks like our next arrival is going to be another another Delta. It's going to be Republic Airways 5826 coming in from JFK. The one we had depart a moment ago, that CRJ, that one's headed to LaGuardia. That was Endeavor 5404. Headed out to LaGuardia. So the next arrival is going to be another E175LR. But There is a Breeze Airways out there. Maybe we'll get Breeze over here on our side. We'll see what happens. But it does look like PSA is ready to go.
You're just going to go back to TTA?
Yeah, that's perfect.
617 Roger, and ask the orbit just so far as heading 140.
Okay, 140, we'll call that in a second.
70 likes. Thank you, Brian Lloyd, for that update. Greatly appreciate the update there. See how the rest of the day goes. Hopefully we can make it to at least 200 today. I know there's a lot of things happening on YouTube today. So hopefully today we make it where we need to be. I think I need to adjust my show times. The only reason we start at 1 is so we can get our 777 arrival. It seems like the airport's kind of dead between 1 and 3. Copa now just 27 minutes out. I don't think that's right because it said Copa was 35 minutes out about 10 minutes ago. Are they having issues with this one? Still got the door open. Sounds like we got a CRJ or E175. There it is. Got an American Eagle E175 making their way out from the front of the terminal there. Yeah, Terminal 2 usually does have more action. That's why we focus more on this side. Also, if you're familiar with this airport at all, you know you can't see Terminal 1 side at all from the parking garage. There's no real good views of Terminal 1 side, unfortunately. I wish there were. So there's that E175 we were hearing a moment ago. The guy with a boat down there driving through the airport. What is he pulling that with? Looks like he's pulling that with a Kia Telluride. Or is that the Land Rover? I really can't tell. It's all blacked out. Can't tell what he's towing that boat with. That's a nice boat though. Looks like our American Eagle is going to get a move on. This flight information here in just a moment after departure. It's not on flight radar, unfortunately. That's what happens when we're on the 05s. Nobody pops up. It's like a blind spot. Making that left bank to a 035, it looks like. PSA still doesn't have their door shut. Are we having drama down here? What's happening? Are we having issues? So that is Republic Airways 4459. That is headed to New York. That's headed to LaGuardia. Looks like we had a
4459, contact departure.
Departure, Picard, 4459.
Republic Airways Delta land over on 5 right.
6 and left Alpha 4, join Delta, contact Alpha 9.
Looks like Breeze is going to do the same. There's another American close here somewhere. There it is. We've got Republic Airways 4560 coming in from LaGuardia. 1 hour and 4 minutes of flight time for that one. That one arriving in 8 minutes. I don't know that I trust flight radar lately. I feel like that's a whole lot closer than 8 minutes. There's that Delta that landed over on the backside, coming down the hill.
135 runway 5 right, side of land, wind 0308.
Clearly runway 5 right.
Wondering what's going on here with PSA. They're having a conversation with the ground crew, it looks like, about something. $74 likes. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. So Breeze touching down here in just a moment on the other side. So again, if you guys are just joining us, welcome to the show. We're about an hour in. I'm going to gift out those 5 memberships here a little later on in the day. So if if any of you are trying to get a membership, hopefully today is your day. I want to know what's going on with this one. Looks like we got some maintenance going on this A321 over here in the overnight parking area. Oh, now it looks like the captain or somebody stepped off PSA, of course, as soon as I turned the camera away. Ryan, from a streaming standpoint, yes, I prefer up here better. From personally watching, I like the observation deck. You guys will catch me down there every now and then when we're just down there hanging out, waiting to do a show. But as far as doing a show down there, you guys know, it's not too possible. We've done one show down there. We did a show Wednesday right down the street from the observation deck. It was an alright show. They've got to be on the 5s though in order to make that work, unfortunately. Otherwise you can't really see a whole lot. It's kind of nice because they're right up close. Problem with it though is the fence. Struggled pretty hard with service in the fence the other night, Wednesday night. Yeah, hopefully it does as well, Lynn. Hopefully, again, if you guys have been hoping for or wanting a membership, hopefully today is your day. So again, I've got 5 to gift out today, and then we'll figure something out for the beginning of May. Normally that's on a Sunday, but I haven't figured out next Sundays. I don't know what day we're going to make up for Sunday, since we won't be here next weekend. I wish I could go to the air show on Saturday so I could be out here on Sunday to give you guys a show, but unfortunately the way my wife's schedule worked for Saturday, I've got to stay home. My wife is off. My wife is off with her mother doing some stuff, and her sister doing a bridal shower, I think. So I'll have the boys. By the way, if you guys were wondering about Wednesday, we talked about Ethan. The only reason we sent Ethan to urgent care Wednesday was because he couldn't get a doctor's appointment. All is good with him. He just has a cold. My wife couldn't get him scheduled with his primary. Gave him an antibiotic, and he's already back to normal for the most part. Nice. Robbie's going to lunch by the airport. Yeah, I really wish we were on the 2-3 so I could get all the action from the other side too. Stinks when we only have one side that we can do a show from certain days. Dang, it looks like Republic Airways, that one coming in from LaGuardia, is going to land over on 2-3. I mean, 5 right. I'm stuck on the 2-3s today. So that one going to land behind us, unfortunately, as well. Hopefully they're not going to divide the airport up like that all day. Make everybody come in this way. If they are, we don't have much of a show, do we? Yeah, I need to get my self back in the air, fly somewhere. It's been 6 long months, unfortunately. Yeah, I got a lot of equipment to move, so unfortunately, it's not really a lot of equipment. I could probably move in about 10 minutes or so, but having to do that twice during a show, taking the show down or putting a pause on the show. We'll have all of that traffic over here soon enough. Again, we do have a lot of arrivals. As a matter of fact, we got 3 rolling together right now. American Airlines 2693 coming from Dallas Fort Worth. That one's arriving in 15 minutes. That's going to be followed by Copa, and then followed by another American from Charlotte on an A321. So those three should definitely make their way over here. We do have Frontier coming in about 20-30 minutes. Nice, catching a lot of them over there on Terminal 2, on Terminal 1 side. Yeah, it's definitely not ideal right now, but we'll hang in there. Hey, Heathrow Joe, what's up? Good afternoon, good evening. All right, looks like we got that American A319 on the move, or A320. Can never tell those two apart. Got to look at the doors there. I think that's an A320. No, that is an A319. Who knows? It's one of the two. Figure out where this one's going here in just a minute. So that's American Airlines 2676 headed to Philadelphia on an A320. We've got that E175. That's what's making all the noise over here. We've got an American Eagle.
Departure, American 2676.
Making their way around to the alley. Yeah, I couldn't see the doors. That was the problem, Ramona. I've got a lot of glare on my screen. That's what I was looking at. I was trying to figure it out, and I couldn't see the doors. So we got it figured out, though. It was the A320. Are they still not done with PSA? What is going on with this one? I figured they would have been done and ready to go by now. Looks like PSA having a little bit of trouble there. So American from Dallas is going to be our next arrival. 7 minutes, followed by Copa. So Copa will be another one of our international flights today. Wolf, good afternoon, good evening, coming in from Germany. Thank you, Wolf. Are they wing walking out there for PSA? They are not. They're walking out there for American Eagle. That one about to turn in.
305 Bravo, runway 5 left at altitude 4, clear for takeoff, runway heading 110.
And there goes that American Eagle turning in there. Yeah, I'm just wondering what's going on with the CRJ over there. I wonder if they're having issues with the CRJ or if it's just they're having issues with staffing or possibly somebody on board. Maybe they forgot somebody. So they're waiting on somebody to show up. Who knows? Either way, it looks like whatever's happening is delaying that that departure there. A lot of folks up here today. Seems like a couple of families up here plane spotting, watching some other family members depart possibly. Are they done with our done with the maintenance here on this A321? Looks like it. Or maybe they're checking something else now. Ooh, is that our 757 back to Atlanta? It's a good possibility. What do you guys think? I think that's our 75 back to Atlanta. Dang, that is so close to my employee number at work. That's one number away from being my employee number at work. No, they haven't reattached the bridge back, but the door is still open. So I don't know what's going on with that one. I guess we'll find out in a little bit. So I have a feeling that this is our 75 right here. Yeah, just a shark hanging out in the water. We need the Jaws theme music. Dun-dun, dun-dun. Anytime they come behind the terminal like that. Alright, so we got a whole line of planes coming in again. American Airlines 2693 arriving in 1 minute. That one's coming in from Dallas at Fort Worth. This is a 737-800. Followed by Copa coming in from Panama City, Panama.
New Raleigh Tower, 27 Romeo, inbound visual 32.
And that's going to be followed by American from Charlotte.
All right, 32 cleared to land. We'll be looking. 27 Romeo.
Need it to be 6704 so I can be my work number. That'll be my plane. All right, so that Delta on the move. I do believe that is our 75 though. Looks like that Embraer was waiting for this one. And we got to go around. Looks like American said not today. American from Dallas pulling out.
Visual for 5 left, but approach left is high. We're good to go around. American 2693, that's no problem. You want to just maintain 3,000 and not give you a time back to retake. Maintaining 3,000 and on the setting there, 2693.
So American 2693 from Dallas Fort Worth. I'm gonna go around and try that again. Said he was a little high on the approach. So that leaves us with Copa Airlines. Going to be our next arrival. Copa from Panama.
Tower Copa 466 with Quebec, good day with runway 5 left on right. Clear line runway 5 left for 466.
So Copa 466 cleared to land. And that was our 757 there. So American bails on that arrival. Wish it would have been a little bit closer. We need some of them close-up go-arounds. But again, Copa 466 from Panama City. Our next arrival, that one is about 4 hours of flight time by the time they touch down here. They're at 3 hours and 58 minutes. Says they're arriving in 3 minutes, but I feel like that's a little off the mark there. See if we can get on Copa here. Didn't know if Delta was going to try to get a move on here. Doesn't look like they're going to. Delta's going to wait it out. Looks like they got some time. Too bad Copa's not bringing us a max today. Normally it's hit or miss with them. One day it's a max, one day it's not.
2023, ready to come on my first speed.
Well, final first speed, American 2023.
We should go to our 757, but let's finish out Copa here. As our 75 is on the move. Copa off the runway, 757 on the move. Got that American from Charlotte barreling down on Delta. Gonna try to do this really quick. Come on, Delta. At 757 off the ground back to Atlanta. Comes our Charlotte flight.
We'll see. 5 left.
Clear to land American 2023.
That one's gonna land behind the building there, and we return to Copa. Lots of action there for a moment. Try to make sure I give you guys all of the planes if we can. There you go, a little double shot of Copa and American. So we should have a nice close-up shot of Copa here in just a moment as they get ready to accept Copa down here. Our buddy Captain Carolina, I think he's working at Copa today. PSA still sitting there with the doors open. Let's see if we can see our buddy Captain Carolina down here. Can't really tell if he's down there with them or not. Don't know if he's walking the wings today or not. Let's go to our American from Charlotte while we wait for Copa to make that turn. I believe our next arrival is going to be that American that did the go around from Dallas. I believe that is our next arrival. And it is American at 2693 going to come in just a moment. Going to stick with Copa though, since we got such a good shot of Copa. I think we might have enough time. See Copa again a little later. There's American 2693. Looks like they're just right this time. Not too high, not too low. Nice touchdown for the 737-8. Got another American on the way in just behind this one. And we got Frontier as well. Our next arrival is going to be Envoy Air 4152 coming in from Chicago. Arriving in 1 minute. That's going to be on another E170. It's going to be on an E170 SE. One of the smaller ones there. Who do we got here for Frontier? We got Frontier Flint the Wood Stork. Frontier 3313 coming in from LaGuardia. This is an A321neo. Arriving here in just a moment. Thank you, Molly. 84 likes. Thank you guys for liking the show today. No interruptions in service. We were even able to crank up the quality of today's show. No interruptions, it looks like, for the first hour or so. So hopefully you guys can enjoy the quality of today's show. So that American Eagle touching down. Frontier, sorry, excuse me. Frontier on final already. We do have this Delta E175 in a hurry. That American Eagle did cut out early. Must have been a light load today. So there we go. There's Frontier 3313 coming in from New York City.
Hello, Tower. Fox C331 with you on the right base from Barbara.
Fox C331, Tower, and make progress.
Clear to land, 5 right, Fox C331.
Which message? You'll have to hold on. You'll have to give me a minute so I can scroll back to find your message. Flint the Wood Stork on board that one. Hopefully we'll get a close-up shot of this one as it makes its way around to this side of the D gates, hopefully. Or at least on the corner there. So we have that Delta E175 ready to go. Nice. Cut to the gate. Alright, so we have that Delta connection. E175 on the move. Finally, PSA pushing back. Let's see if we can figure out where that one was headed. So the Delta connection, that's Sky West 4114. That's headed back to Austin, Texas, E175 LR. Next arrival is going to be United 2269 coming in from Denver. 2 hours and 40 minutes of flight time for this 737-800. That one arriving, it says in 0 minutes, but about 2 minutes or so. So it's good to finally see the CRJ 701 pushing back after waiting for a long time there. Yeah, it's called a wood stork. Never heard of a wood stork. I didn't know there was really that. I mean, I guess there is a bunch of differences in all the different kinds of birds, like storks and stuff like that. Just like we have different eagles and different, you know what I mean, different parrots.
Left on Alpha 5, go ground, Mach.
Speaking of the wood stork, give you a good look at him there, Flint. As we await our next arrival. Thank you, Molly. Molly hollering about New Mexico 1. Unfortunately, here we won't be able to see it, unfortunately. There's United from Denver. I've got too big of there's a big truck next to me, so I can't really get anything coming in at 5 right, sadly, today. So United from Denver. ERB. Good afternoon. Aero Mexico, 38 minutes.
Contact departure, 8 Sierra Bravo.
A350 just passing by the airport. Again, it is hard for me to read my screen, so bear with me if I miss any messages, you guys. Looks like United's in a hurry. Again, PSA finally getting out of the alleyway there. as United makes their way up here. Looks like we got an E175 pushing back down here just below us. And we didn't have Flint come around like I thought we would. Flint over there on the other side of Terminal 1. Are they loading the snacks there? It's not often we see them loading CRJs for snacks and stuff. Looks like we had a Southwest departure. Southwest 2709. That Delta we saw, that SkyWest 4114, that one was headed back to Austin, Texas. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Republic Airways 4567 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. That one's going to be arriving in just 10 minutes. Got another one coming in from Charlotte, still on the ground in Charlotte. Hey, there we go, Frontier 1554. One of my favorites, Parrish and Daisy. Only because I've flown with Parrish and Daisy back in October. So they're coming from Orlando. Good to see Parrish and Daisy again on the show. There's a lot of Southwest coming. I really wish we could have been on the other side where we could see Southwest today. So Parrish and Daisy arriving in 27 minutes. Aeromexico arriving in 35 minutes. But our next arrival is in 10. Thank you, Wolf, for the support. Drew, look forward to seeing you in just a little bit if you're headed up here to the parking garage. Apologies for the little hesitation there in the service a moment ago. The sun got a hold of our Wi-Fi box, warmed it up a little bit, made a slight adjustment there. I've had to move a couple of things due to the sun making its movements, of course. Trying to keep all of our equipment as cool as possible. It's a very beautiful day, very cool day, nice and breezy. So again, our next arrival is going to be Republic Airways 4567 coming in from Music City, Tennessee. Coming in from Nashville. It says 5 minutes now. Thank you, ERB. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I'll turn the quality back up here in just a minute. Gotta let the Wi-Fi cool back down. I'm sure I'll have to move it a couple more times before the end of the day to make sure it stays nice and cool. Hopefully it doesn't disrupt the service by moving it around. Just trying to keep it shaded and cool. So again, later on in the show, we're going to be gifting out 5 memberships. Make sure if you guys are wanting to have a shot at those memberships, you make sure you're have your membership gifting turned on. I'll be gifting out those 5 memberships a little later. Probably could have waited until Wednesday evening. We normally do it on our last Sunday of the month and then our first Sunday of the month. So we have 2 weeks where we gift out 10 memberships in a row. So our Delta connection getting a move on. This E175. Getting out of here. That one there flying runway heading. So I assume that one's headed to New York. And PSA back to Washington, D.C. via Ronald Reagan. They're on the river, ready to go.
4567 on the visual to 5 left.
So that one that just departed is Republic Airways 5808. Delta connection headed back to JFK. Again, this one here is headed to DC via DCA. We saw this one sitting with the door open for quite some time, waiting for departure. Still not sure what the deal was with them. Kind of issues they may have been facing, but good to see them finally off the ground.
Charlie Tower, 945 kilo, 8 mile final, complete 2.
5589, come up in 035, runway 5 left, 035, and runway 5 left, 4567, runway 5 left, clear to land.
5 left, clear to land, break here at 4567.
107, runway 5 right, minus 40. 32, clear to land, 45 kilo.
Wolf's also been here for 2 months. Thank you, Wolf. Again, a huge thank you to you guys for the support, hanging out with us on your Sunday and watching the show.
Raleigh approach, are you hearing 937 Delta?
937 Raleigh, Raleigh Tower. Are you calling us?
I'm so sorry, sir. We seem to have lost the departure. I'm on a right base for runway 32 at the moment, but I should still be talking as departure frequency, I suppose.
So yeah, previous to the field, contact them on 125.3. 5589, contact point. Sorry, departure, Aviation on the street, 59.
Can't believe how clear ATC is today. Can actually understand them a little bit today. So, American Eagle from Nashville, touching down.
Or is departure, yeah, crew check 127.
Colin Dutton,
Right 110.
good evening.
Departure, have a good one.
Happy birthday, Colin. All right, we'll catch this E175 once again back here in the alleyway as we check out Copa here getting all of their services done. Let's check out what's happening here on Flight Radar. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Frontier 1554, one of my personal favorites. Parrish and Daisy, the Burrowing Owls, coming from Orlando. Same place I flew them from back in October. So I figure around 3 o'clock we'll gift out those 5 Carolina Aviation memberships for you guys to end out the month of April. Well, looks like Republic's gonna have to sit there and wait for a gate.
Up. Wait, B2 traffic. Now that's 3 Fox Golf, runway 32, clear to land.
Runway 32, clear to land, 3 Fox Golf.
229 Fox Golf, runway 5, right down, 45 Golf, Golf.
Yeah, looks like there might be a little confusion here on where this American Eagle's going. Not coming to one of these gates back here. They're going to go back around to the front of Terminal 2.
Have 0-5 right.
Traffic 47, runway 5, right, continue traffic towards the position.
Bravo 47.
So Frontier's next. It's going to be followed by Aeromexico. Aeromexico just 20 minutes away. I believe this one here is coming in from Charlotte. We've got a A321 from American arriving in 23 minutes from Charlotte. Got a whole bunch coming in from the north, looks like. So we might get busy here in just a few minutes, which is good for us. Gotta plug in the old cell phone here so we can continue to give you guys flight information. So there we go, Copa. Oh, here we go. Knew it was getting close to time for this. Our American 777 pushing back. Completely empty, of course. The American 777 going to move over to the D gates. Here in just a moment. So we'll have a really good shot of that one up close and personal here in a minute. Thank you, Wolf. 101 likes. I'll be happy if we make it to 200 today. So make sure if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do so. Gonna at least try to get to 200.
110, contact forces, 229 Wing check. 1070,
And if you're just joining us, make sure you smash the like button as well. Got an American Eagle pushing back as well right there. Couldn't have picked a better time to do this because there's no arrivals for the next few minutes. They need to get this done before Frontier comes in. A custom plane? Well, sure. Alright, we should be able to hear that 777 start up here in just a minute. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. The mic's pointed the other way. Pointed it towards our departure spot at the end of the runway. So hopefully you guys will definitely be able to hear it when it makes its way around the corner. So get ready to fire up those Trents. Oh, it's so nice to be out here soaking up the sun and not sweating to death. Speaking of, we've got the pushback at this one, so Air France can have that location. Air France is still all the way up in New York at the moment. They're still an hour and 5 minutes away. But I imagine they want to go ahead and get the 777 started loading as quickly as possible. Speaking of crystal clear picture, let's turn our quality back up here now. Maybe the Wi-Fi hotspot's cooled down enough. See what it does here.
For the parking, left when
Quality should be perfectly crisp and clear, even better. As we await the movement of our triple. I know you mentioned that red line before, Becky. I'm not sure what it is. I don't see it here on mine as far as your messages go, so I don't know what the deal is. Maybe there's some setting on your computer. I know you commented one day about that on one other show. Oh, that's weird. A red line. Normally I know when you type people's names it highlights. It'll highlight it in like a gray for me. I don't know if there's a customizable option for YouTube to change the color of that highlight. See, Susan knows. Susan knows it's red. See, I don't. Mine's always gray. Either on my phone or on my computer here when we're doing shows. For me, it highlights when you guys message me in the chat. It highlights in orange. So like when you say my full thing, like Molly just did, mine pops up. Mine pops up orange, so my name is more visible when you guys message me. And then of course if I say something in the chat, I am usually yellow. So we got a pair of E175s lined up ready to go. Looks like a United Express and a Delta connection. Our next arrival though is going to be Frontier. Susan, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. You're just in time for our 777 movement. You guys might be able to hear that. as we have Frontier coming in. Perfect timing though. As that gets a move on, we can focus on Parrish and Daisy. Those two coming in from Mickey Mouse Town, coming in from Orlando. So United wasn't an E175, and I don't know why it looked like that, but that is United. That's going to be a 737-900. I guess maybe the angle it was sitting at. So we're going to skip out on everybody else at the moment because we got our triple coming around the corner. Should sound very nice, hopefully. Should probably turn up the volume just a little bit. But we do have an arrival coming in as well, you'll be able to hear. But there's our 777 switching gates. Yep, there's a pair of owls on board the Frontier flight again. I think those are the ones that I flew home. I know for a fact that we flew Daisy and Parrish. I can't remember the name of the other owls we flew to Orlando, but we did fly those Daisy and Parrish, the ones that just touched down from Orlando back in October. We got the 777 movement here. Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, you?
Good. If you're gonna stop by, I'm heading out.
Bravo 5, another red on Bravo.
Line 5 left, number 4428.
So we were talking to Drew there. He's going to be on a flight a little later on headed to Atlanta. So we'll catch him a little later on. So there's Parrish and Daisy finally making their way around as they waited for the 777 to get out of the way there. Huge shout out to Drew for stopping by and saying hello. Again, he's headed to Phoenix, but he's going to make that stop there in Atlanta. There's Parrish and Daisy, the burrowing owls. Hopefully we'll get a good look at them as they make their way into the gate. We do have the railing in the way. Luckily we didn't miss anything with the 777 making their movements over here to the D gates. Looks like we had a United Express CRJ touchdown a moment ago, as well as one other one. I believe it was an American Eagle, maybe. So Daisy and Parrish, or Parrish and Daisy. Gonna watch us as we watch them. See if we can get some marshalling going on here for you guys. Be the second marshal of the day. Parrish and Daisy make their way to a stop. Next arrival is going to be Aeromexico SLI 430 coming in from Mexico City. 3 hours and 28 minutes of flight time for the E190LR. That's our next arrival right here.
left with able to the ramp up.
Mexico Connect, making that 3.5-hour flight, 4-hour flight from Mexico City. Got a Delta CRJ making its way back here into the alley. So did we miss our 3 o'clock hour? We did. So we're going to gift out those 5 memberships here in just a moment. Let's get all these arrivals in here and then we'll gift out those memberships. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Republic Airways 4356 coming in from New York here in just a moment. As we watch the final couple of moments here of Aeromexico. Guys hear that CRJ making its way into the gate. We do have that United Express CRJ making its way back here as well. Nice smooth touchdown for Republic. The CRJ marshalling. Next arrival is going to be another American. This is going to be American Airlines 1897 coming in from Charlotte on an A321 200. There's our CRJ from United Express. Big difference there between the CRJ and the 777. Air France still about an hour away. Looks like we've got one headed to Atlanta. Our 737-900 for Delta lined up over there. Comes American from Charlotte. A little 2-for-1 shot there. Somebody coming in the background. There's Delta, that 737. The next arrival is going to be another American Airlines. American 2334 coming in from Philadelphia. That's an A319, 56 minutes of flight time. Looks like a possible breeze over here on this side as well. So we'll see here It is. So they are on visual for 5 left. You guys heard it there on the radar. Moxie ready to get their clearance over here for 5 left. As our American from Philadelphia gets ready to touch down on that A319, that baby bus. Didn't look to see if Moxie was going to be an A220-300. Hopefully it is. Find out here in just a moment. As our A319 makes that turn off the runway. So Breeze is in fact an A220. That's Moxie 540. That's coming in from Windsor Locks. 1 hour and 25 minutes of flight time for this A220.
Right base, full 5 right. 5 right, clear to land, clear single lane.
So a little surprise here from Breeze Airways. We're about to have a bunch waiting for gates. That 737 about to get a move on back to Atlanta, but I think we're going to stick with Breeze here as it gets ready to head up the hill. That American A321 from Charlotte is down here in the alleyway, as you can see. There you go, a little 5 for 1 shot. Give you all of the planes in 1 shot. About to have that Delta there entering the shot as they get a move on. There goes Delta. pair of Americans sitting down here. This A321 and I think that A319 just sitting behind it there. Looks like we're having some issues with some gates. Somebody's delayed. And there goes the last couple of seconds of breeze. So there's that A321 and that A319, I believe. Both of them sitting there waiting for a gate. So let's give that flight information for Delta. That was Delta 2026. I do believe that is headed to Atlanta. 737-9 GP. It doesn't tell me where it's going. It is headed to Atlanta. Dang, we got a whole bunch of Southwest coming in. I really dislike the 05s. If you guys didn't know that already, the 05s really stink. Looks like we got a couple E175s getting ready for departure here in a moment. Figure out who's going to go for what. Thank you, Molly. 113 and likes. Thank you guys for smashing the button today. Doesn't look like they're doing anything to our 777 yet. They got it offloaded and moved. Doesn't look like anything is happening over here with it at the moment. Yeah, we're overrun with American at the moment. Thank you, Wolf, for that update. Air France in 26 minutes. So that'll be a nice arrival. That one there just now over DC, it looks like. Right over Baltimore. Flying right over BWE. Says it still has 40 minutes on mine. It's still up there in Washington, toward Washington, D.C. So we are late on those membership giftings, but there we go. I'm going to go ahead and gift those 5 memberships out. Hopefully those of you who were wanting a membership get one today. Congratulations to all of you guys. Come the first. I have 10 more to gift. I try to give out all 10 each month. So again, congratulations to all of you who got a membership. Oh, thank you, Vincent. Sorry I didn't see that message again. You guys, I'm struggling with the computer, so thank you so much, Vincent. Apologies that I missed that message. Thank you, Molly, for letting me know that. So that is 15 memberships today gifted. So thank you guys. I greatly appreciate all of the support. As we wait on this American Eagle departure, I think they're waiting on Breeze Airways. Breeze departing a moment ago. There they go. The American Eagle on the move. So let's give you the flight information on that one. Looks like our A321 is finally turning around out of the alley. There's our 777. So that American Eagle is Republic Airways 4560, headed back to LaGuardia. Southwest about to land 5 right. Looks like we got American 2693 pushing back. This one's 737-800. This one getting ready to head it back to DFW. That's the one that made the go around earlier in the show because of a too high approach. That one about to taxi out in just a moment. Ramona gifting 10 Carolina Aviation memberships. That's 26 today. Thank you so much, Ramona, for the support. I know Ramona wanted to be here today. I know Miss Ramona busy. So congratulations to everyone who was gifted memberships today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Vincent, once again. Apologies that I missed your message. I almost missed Ramona's there as well because I was looking at flight radar. So we started the day with 921 on the subscriber count, trying to get closer to our goal. We've only gained 2 new friends today. I didn't expect today to be that busy of a day for us. There are a lot of other things going on YouTube today. So thank you to those of you who are here and watching today. All right, ERB, have a wonderful afternoon / evening. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday with us. So again, we're waiting on Air France, about 30 minutes away now. We still have the departure of Copa and Aeromexico as well. Air France now exactly 30 minutes away. I wonder if I'll be able to do this. I'm trying to do something here in the background while we wait on Air France. We may wait on Air France's arrival, Copa's departure, and then we may be done for the day. Again, there's a lot going on YouTube today, so we may cut today's show quite short. See how it goes here. Probably should have started a lot later than we did today. We got a Delta E-175 on the move. That one was sitting over there at the end of the runway waiting for a departure slot. So again, we got Air France in about 27 minutes. Got a couple of bigger Americans here. One A321 ready to head back to Charlotte. Possibly both of these right here headed back to Charlotte. That Delta connection was Republic Airways 5851 headed back to LaGuardia. Air France over Central Virginia. We got an American 737. This one's headed back to Dallas Fort Worth via DFW. That 737-800, that's the one we saw earlier in the show. Do that slight go around there for being too high on final. And now for our A321s, getting ready to go back to Charlotte. So that 737 was American. American at 5851. No, that's Republic. Wrong one. 26 American Airlines 2693. Again, that one headed back to Dallas. Got Air Canada, operated by Jazz Aviation, coming in from Toronto. This one is CRJ 900LR. That one arriving in 15 minutes. Looks like we got United 2478 coming in from Houston in 5 minutes. That's an A320-200. So I think we're going to end with Air France today. We're going to end with that arrival. Unless we get something miraculous happen here in the next little while, I think Air France will do it for us today. Hopefully we'll get Copa's departure between now and then. So this one gonna make that hard left bank as they make their way back to Charlotte, the Queen City. Don't know what time Copa is supposed to leave, but hopefully within the next 20-30 minutes before Air France's arrival and stop at the gate, we'll have this one's departure. If not, we'll see it in 2 weeks. So our next arrival is going to be that United from Houston. need another device out here. Scheduled departure's 4:30. Thank you, Molly. It's 3:38. So chances are we won't see that departure today. I need a tablet or another cell phone. One so I can watch flight radar, and the other one so I can watch the race. So I am watching flight radar and the race off of the same device at the moment. I figure we don't have a whole lot of interest today. So again, we're going to cut the show short. We're going to end at when Air France arrives today. You know, Pip, I did see a Telluride pulling a big boat a little while ago, by the way, speaking of Telluride. I've never been there. Isn't that a small town? I'll have to Google it. Maybe one day we'll go there. So, again, Air France, about 20 or so minutes away. I do want to thank you guys for watching today. Yeah, it's in Colorado. I'd really like to go to Colorado and go hang out there. It's a beautiful area. So here we go, we've got United coming in from Houston. Had a couple of viewers come over and say hello. Thank you guys for stopping over and saying hello. So there we go, United from Houston and then an A320. So Pip, you'll be in Phoenix tomorrow. I'll be watching that while I lurk at work, or I'll be lurking on the show. Looking forward to another Phoenix stream. I'd like to make my way out to Phoenix one of these days. Just not in the summertime, too hot. Go out there in the fall, winter time, I think, one of these days. Come go crash on Pip's couch. Or floor, either one. Maybe we can tag team Phoenix one of these days. Looks like we got an American Eagle E-175 ready for departure. Finally, after sitting there for quite a while. I got to admit, those streams in Phoenix are absolutely beautiful. That backdrop, hopefully they're coming in the correct way so you get the cityscapes tomorrow. Downtown Phoenix looking beautiful. By the way, speaking of Ramona, I saw Ramona's message, plus Ramona gifting those memberships earlier. Make sure you guys go follow Miss Ramona. She's posting videos and photos daily over on Instagram and Facebook, as well as here on YouTube. I try to like as many of them as I can. She gets them out so fast, it's hard for me to make sure I like them all. So Ramona, if I've missed any of your videos, I apologize. But Ramona definitely putting out the videos, doing a great job. So make sure you go check out Ramona. Let's check and see where our 777 is. So Air France arriving in just 15 minutes. Looks like we're going to have Air Canada. That American Eagle departure, that's Envoy Air. That's headed back to Chicago. But our next arrival is going to be Air Canada coming in from Toronto on a CRJ 900. It's going to be followed by, hold on. So we got Air Canada, then we've got Delta 1550 coming in from Atlanta. That's a 737 at 9 GP. Then we've got a Delta connection coming in from Cincinnati, Endeavor 5400. And then that's followed by, actually, Frontier 3372 coming in from Tampa. That's going to be Al the Roadrunner livery. Looks like we got a United Express CRJ pushing back. So we got at least four or five more this afternoon here before Air France's arrival. Yeah, I prefer Instagram over Facebook. I don't use Facebook much. You guys know I have a Facebook page for the show. I also have the hey, you know what? Recliner's just as comfy. I can do that too, or the floor for that matter. But yeah, Facebook. I also have a group over there, but I don't ever get on it, so. Created my own Facebook group, but Facebook is just way too complicated. Again, if you guys ever feel like reaching out to me, the Instagram is the best way to do it. I get a couple of emails from you guys every now and then on our email, but most of the time Instagram is the best way to reach me. There's Air Canada arriving from Toronto. Looks like we got Flint, the wood stork, pushing back over on the other side. For Frontier Airlines, going to make room for Al, the Roadrunner. Alright, Pip, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure if you guys don't follow Pip already, please go over and follow Pip Hastings Aviation. He's going to be in Phoenix tomorrow. Spent the last 2 weeks in San Diego. Doing a good job over there as well. So the Canadian Mantis touching down, back taxiing here. I'm ready for WestJet and the Air Canada 737. Hopefully we'll be here to see those. So we try to catch them all, but again, we talked about Bermuda earlier in the day. Bermuda requires me to take a day off from work, so I don't know that we'll catch Bermuda ever. Our next arrival is going to be Delta 1550 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. Looks like our United Express is getting a move on here. This CRJ. As we wait for Air Canada to make its way around the corner. There's Air Canada. We go from one CRJ to another. I want to do one other thing with flight radar. Not yet. Okay. So I was looking for Air France to see if Air France was downwind yet. Maybe we can get a nice downwind shot of Air France. So there's the link to a Pip in the chat. Thank you, Molly, for posting that. I think Molly posted it, Miss Ramona as well. Delta from Atlanta. I'll be watching Pip tomorrow while I'm working and lurking. Got a CRJ just below us starting up. Got Flint getting ready to get a move on. Flint the wood stork. As Air Canada makes their way to the gate. Forgot to look for Captain Carolina down there. I think he's working Air Canada tonight. Let's swing over there and see if we can see our buddy Captain Carolina. No, doesn't look like Captain Carolina is working the wings today. Turn back to Flint the wood stork. And finally, that CRJ is going to get a move on from down here. So Frontier there, well, let's start with United. United Express, that's operated by GoJet. That one's headed back to Washington Dulles. Frontier 2060, that one's headed to Philadelphia. At A321 Neo. Next arrival is going to be Frontier 3372 coming in from Tampa. Again, that's Al the Roadrunner on board that one. Heck yeah, I just got some good news. Sounds like the pet store, the new pet store, new-ish pet store next to my house has bugs. Guess the wife stopped in there for some stuff for the other pets. So that's exciting news. Now I don't have to drive so far to get buggos for Buddy. He'll be happy. I didn't even bring Buddy today. There's Al the Roadrunner. Al's gonna float in there a little long. There she is. That's who I was waiting for. Star of the show, the last plane of the day. Air France coming in from Charles de Gaulle. That 777 at 200. So that means we're about 15 minutes Technically less than that away from the end of the show today. I'm going to end right here with the arrival of Air France today. But our next arrival is that Delta Connection CRJ. Nice. Another Mantis touchdown. We do have another one on ready for departure over here. Good afternoon, everybody coming in from Nelia's show. You guys join us just in time for Air France, our last plane of the show. And we have our 777 over here if you guys are interested in checking out the American 777. But Air France arriving now in about, I'd say about 4 minutes. So we got about 15 minutes left in the show here. We're going to skip out on that Delta there. We're going to go with Al the Roadrunner. I assume they're waiting on Daisy and Parrish to push back. Again, Daisy and Parrish, a couple of my personal favorites there. We did fly those back on back in October. I lost Air France completely. Oh, there it is. Still turning on final out there. Again, there's our American 777. That one making its way around from the D gates earlier this afternoon. Air France making that left turn onto final. So Daisy and Parrish are about to push back to give way to Al the Roadrunner. Thank you, Molly, for the update. 131 likes. Thank you guys for liking the show today. Again, thank you guys for the support as well. There she comes, turning, making that left. It's hard to see. The atmosphere isn't as clear as it usually is. Hopefully Air France doesn't disrupt our service here, so you guys can continue to get the best quality possible here for the last few minutes of the show. There's a Delta CRJ making its way around the corner. I think I'm done with flight radar. Air France doesn't look very good. What is happening here? Still wheels up. They look like they're really, really high. Thought maybe they were gonna do a go around there. There we go. There's what, 30 gifted memberships. Thank you, Brianna. Congratulations to the 5 other members. There we go. Wheels down for Air France. Hurry up, CRJ. V-Dub, and you're just in time for the big boy. And 777 full flaps. He's definitely got them flaps down, don't he? Trying to get slowed in. Air France sporting that sporting a silver nose today. Parrish and Daisy finally pushing back. I know we were waiting on Parrish and Daisy to push as they make room for Al, the Roadrunner. Look at those GEs, they're so massive. And they're not even the big GEs. They either took that nose from United or they took it from American. Well, we know we won't see this one head to the gate other than this little bit here. Looks like Copa added a few, possibly has added a few more minutes onto the show here. I think we may wait for Copa's departure and then we'll be done for today. As Copa is pushing. So Copa's going to end the show. So the American Air France 777 making its way around the corner. We got Copa. Copa is definitely going to be it for the day. We do have another arrival though. Looks like an American 737. Got United on the move. And the 737-900 with the Copa's already starting engines. Copa. Wolf, thank you so much for hanging in with us today. Greatly appreciate you being here for the majority of the show. Thank you so much for becoming a member as well. Appreciate that support. Daisy and Parrish. On the move now. They came in from MCO a little while ago. All right, Copa, we're waiting on you. You're the star of the show. Looks like we got a Boeing 717 on final from Detroit. Get that one as it gets closer. Again, Copa, as soon as Copa leaves, that will be the end of our day. I'm gonna go home and eat some Subway, catch what's left of the race. Probably listen to the race on the way home. There's our 717. Again, this one coming in from Detroit. Can always tell the difference between it and a CRJ from a distance via the landing lights. Their landing lights are all the way out there on the end of the wing, plus they have some in the middle as well. You can typically, they're one of the more unique set of landing lights. So good to have one of our classic birds touch down here. Got an A319 hanging out at the end of the runway there. There's Copa making their way around. Looks like we have another arrival here in just a moment. Let's update flight radar here, see what we got. So let's see, that one is coming from Detroit. That's Delta 1407. Next arrival is Delta 2283 coming in from Boston. That's an A220-100. Got another one coming in from Washington, from Republic Airways. We've got Sun Country and the Tide Pod livery coming in just a few minutes. That one's going to go to the other side, so we're not missing anything there. Don't believe it's going to come in over here on this side. So there's our A220 from Boston. Doesn't look like Copa's ready to go yet. So David, it's funny you mention Oreos. I almost went to Cracker Barrel this morning before the show to get their cheesecake Oreo pancakes this morning. I thought better of it though. Now it sounds like I got some Subway at home. I got a message a moment ago from Miss Caroline saying I got some Subway waiting for me. Come on, Copa. Waiting on you. Yeah, Cracker Barrel's like 5 minutes from the airport here. All right, here we go. This is the last plane of the show. So Copa's departure back to Panama City is our last one. We do have an American and a Southwest ready to go. We do have another arrival as well. Copa better hurry up. We'll probably catch that next arrival here in a moment. But after that, we are finito. Again, I want to thank you guys for the contributions today, all the gifted memberships. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you who were gifted memberships today. Thank you to my moderators for moderating and doing their thing. Thank you to those of you who hung out with us all day, and for those of you stopping in to say hello. Greatly appreciate you guys stopping in. Dang, we're gonna miss United's touchdown because it's already touching down here. It's United on a 737. As Copa makes their way back to Panama, and we check out United. Again, a huge thank you to all of you for hanging out today. I'm gonna leave you with a little 777 tail with some Southwest behind it. Gonna leave you with that shot right there. So thank you guys. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you guys sometime this week. I guess we'll be back on Wednesday. And then I don't have a plan for next weekend because I won't be here. We'll try to make it up somewhere later in the week, this week. So we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys out at the air show this weekend, this upcoming weekend. But anyway, that is gonna do it. We'll see you guys next time. See you, everybody.